Maybe 5-ish, you guys. There is just nothing precise about time in my life these days. Oh man, the last 2 days, yesterday and today, have been tough for me. Lots of nausea. So it's a bit of a dry getting myself here for you guys tonight. And if anybody happens to jump on here, could you please tell me how my sound is, because there were some serious sound quality issues last week when I did my live. And I just want to make sure that the sound is okay and I'm not having the same sound quality issues. So please just let me know in the comments if you can hear me okay. Hi, Jill. Hi, Tina. Can you guys let me know how my sound is? I'm just getting started, and I just want to make sure everything is coming through okay and not too crackly. I've had this really weird thing going on with my iPhone that it makes some seriously weird sounds, and my husband is on a meeting, so he is using up all of our internet bandwidth, so I'm using my cell phone. Oh, now I'm worried this isn't working at all. Okay, maybe it's working now. Is it working now? Can anybody hear me? Joe, Tina, anybody here who can tell me if my sound is okay, if you can see me, hear me okay? Let me know in the comments, please. Last week I spent a fair bit of time talking to you guys and hope you can hear me. So oh, still crackly. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, it's all any better? I don't know what happened to my phone. The crackling. The dreaded crackling. It's, I think because I've been cleaning my phone with bleach. Not bleach, peroxide. I think I've like fried some connection in here. Are we any better now, you guys? Okay. Better? Yes? Good? Okay. I'm going to try not moving this thing at all. And hopefully we're good to go. It's nice to see so many of you here. So feel free to jump in and out if you've got stuff to do. No worries. I'm going to just share a few things that have been kind of going on in my world this week. And I just had an idea that I might be able to help some of you guys through sharing some questions that have come up for some of my clients that have to do with making big decisions in our life. So we're going to chat about that today. But as I was saying before, oh my gosh, the pregnancy fatigue and nausea has been bad again this week. And I go through these phases where I get some good days and then I have some really, really crappy days. And I tell you, I am going to be so happy when this is over. So listen, if you guys are loving these lives on Fridays, please tell people about them. Please let me know, because really the only reason why I do this is for you guys. And so, your girl definitely needs some motivation to keep up, because this girl is struggling with this pregnancy business. Okay, so I've been coaching a few of my clients in the past couple of weeks on decision making. And of course, with big decisions comes fear and reservation a lot of the time. And so, I can distinctly remember having some really big fears and some really big reservations, especially when it came to deciding to take the leap into doing coaching. And I also remember that I didn't really spend time asking myself why this was coming up for me way back when. And why didn't I do that? Basically, it was because I wasn't really on to my brain at that point in time. Like, I didn't know how much my brain could get in the way and hold me back from doing things that really could change my life and make a huge difference for me, because everything I was thinking at the time I thought was pure truth in my life at that point in time. So I'm going to coach you guys through some questions that might be holding you back from making big decisions in your life. Some of this I'm going to use this been relating to whether or not you take the leap to participate in coaching if you're struggling, but this could really be applicable to any decision that you're making in your life. Okay. So first question, am I making the right decision? This is a very loaded question. And as long as we expect ourselves to make the right decision about something, then it means there's a possibility we can get it wrong. Why do we ask ourselves this? It's really our self-doubting inner critic coming out, whispering in our ear that there's a right way to do it. And by the way, you don't know how to do it right and you're going to get it wrong, right? Stirs up all this doubt, all this insecurity, all this fear about uncertainty for us. And the problem with this is that we end up, when we're feeling this way, going to external factors, going to other people, hoping somebody's going to be able to tell us what the right answer is, versus turning inward to ourselves and starting to look for towards our self-confidence and our ability to believe that we can have our own back and we can make the most out of whatever decision we make. Why does this matter? Because really, life was never meant to be without challenge at all. And when we expect that there's going to be a right answer and it's going to be the one that's like the path of least resistance and the one without challenge, we can actually really sell ourselves short on a lot of things in this life. Hi, Pyle. Nice to see you. Thanks for the hearts. Really, when we avoid this, we sell ourselves short every time, you guys. But we can empower ourselves to make the most out of every challenge if we don't shy away from our fear and our reservations around decisions that we make, okay? And so if we look at the fear and the reservations as being a normal part of a human life, especially when we're making big commitments and there's a potential to really, up level and change our lives, then these things can kind of start to become our guides towards the big and really exciting things that are happening in our life if we start to look at it from this angle. So I encourage you to let go of the idea of the right answer and to embrace that uncertainty is part of our life, but relying on your self-confidence that you will figure out the challenges opens up so many more doors for you. Okay, the second one is, how do I know if I'm burned out? It's amazing how many of us don't recognize when we're burned out. And I think there really is systemic denial in medicine about burnout and when we have it, when we don't, right? What it looks like. And the classic criteria for burnout are defined as emotional exhaustion, depersonalization or cynicism, and feeling ineffective in terms of what we do. But this really doesn't totally describe the whole experience for so many of us. And so I like to use some of the words that my clients have used to describe this, just to help people to figure out, if this is you, and if this is you, do you need to get some help to deal with this problem? So I'm going to share a few things that people have told me as I've started doing this work. I feel like the administrative workload is too huge and I'll never catch up. I feel like I work too many hours, work is taking over my life, and I don't have time to do any of the things I want to do. I feel like I'm underpaid. I feel like the administration of my institution don't respect me. I feel like my patients don't respect or appreciate me. I feel tired of putting on a happy face and faking it every day as I walk into room to room to room. I keep thinking to myself that if this is as good as it gets, I can't do it anymore. I've considered quitting medicine altogether. I feel like my back is against the wall and I have no future. I feel like medicine is a $300,000 mistake that I made. And in one woman's words, she described this, "Hi, Carolyn," as being the most isolating misery you could ever imagine. Being stuck between knowing that you need help and accepting help being a sign of weakness. So we just press on. And she describes that every day she's thought of driving her car off the road. If these thoughts resonate with you, you're likely somewhere on this continuum of burnout to mental illness to suicidal ideation, right? You need to get some help if this is you. And the best part about this is there is help. So take the leap and start asking and start figuring out what's out there. Okay, next one we might be thinking when we're having these sort of fear and reservations around making decisions. Do I have what it takes to make this change that I want to make in my life? So maybe I, at this point, have you convinced that you can have your back about the decisions you make and that it's time to seek help. But then you might think, like, can I really do what it takes? Can I really deliver on this? If somebody gives me the tools, can I do the work? This doubt is super common, just like I said with the first one, right? Every time we take on something new. And for female physicians, there's often lots of other things that factor in, right? Like, who's going to look after my kids when I take the time that I need to do, whatever modality of help I choose to participate in. Who's going to look after the kids? How am I going to still get my paperwork done? What if I can't make a call due to, professional conflicts, any of these kind of things? Can I really actually take a little bite-size chunk of my time, do some work and really change my life? Like, is this really truly possible? And so if you're thinking this way, the truth is that you actually can't afford not to take the time to do this. Because if you're really living a life that's that bumper to bumper, that there's no blank space, there's no wiggle room, there's no place to fit something in for you, if you can't find 1 or 2 hours a week for yourself to do something that's going to help you make your highest contribution in the world, then you're like I always use this analogy, okay? It's kind of funny, but I think it really makes sense, okay? Think about one of those little packets of butter that you get at a restaurant. Think about if you tried to spread that butter over a whole loaf of bread. You'd have a whole bunch of really crappy pieces of toast, right? But if you take that butter and you spread it over 2 pieces of bread, you get 2 really good pieces of toast. This is how we are too, guys. We have limitations on what we can do. And if we really want to make our highest contribution in the world, we need to know where we make our highest contribution, and we need to put our time and effort into that. And then we need to nurture ourselves so that we can put our time and effort into that. So, yes, you have the time to do this. You just have to choose to make the time. Every single person in the world has 24 hours in their day. The people who decide to do this work chose to use some of their 24 hours to do this, and other people choose not to do that, okay? That's the only difference amongst all of us. Okay, my 4th question for you guys. How do I know what kind of help I need? Do I need a therapist? Do I need a psychiatrist? Do I need a coach? Do I need to go to a Zen retreat somewhere? What do I need? So I always preface this discussion with the caveat that actually none of these treatment modalities are mutually exclusive. And so sometimes the answer is you need all of them. I certainly did at various points in my journey. I needed the mental health system and I needed coaching to help me make some changes in my life. And, in order to make some distinctions amongst these things, I'll share the following with you. So therapists have a lot of different modalities, a lot of different tools, there's talk therapy, there's CBT, there's DBT, there's all kinds of different psychoanalytic therapy, right? And depending on their skill set and their background and their experience, they're going to use various tools. But also these tools rely on a medical diagnosis and medical modalities for treating and diagnosing, right? And so we're typically dealing in the realm, most of the time, of a human brain that has gone a little bit off the rails, that is a little bit abnormal. Okay, psychiatrists, as we know, probably most of us are most familiar with psychiatrists, they're going to add medical therapy to the picture, they're going to make diagnoses, they're going to provide medical care to human brains that are disordered. And sometimes if we're far enough along this continuum, that's where we are. And if that's where we are, we start where we are, right? And we get that help. Coaching, on the other hand, provides practical tools to understand patterns of human thinking that are common to the normal human brain, okay? So really, coaching is for everyone. These thought patterns are not unique to people who have human brains that are disordered, right? And are dealing with mental health disorders. These are things that anybody can deal with. They're just simple failings of the way we evolved, okay? It's like our brain hasn't quite caught up with where we are in modern day, and so we still struggle with a lot of these problems that have to do with our primitive brain. One of the really great papers out there on coaching describes coaching as a way to maximally access personal strengths and skills to access work-related stress, reduce vulnerability to burnout, and recover from burnout. So you can see that really we're looking at where our own strengths and our own skills lie, and we kind of hijack those processes of the human brain and use them to our advantage when we do coaching. Okay, moving on here. So is coaching airy-fairy? Is this for people who like to hold hands and hug trees and sing songs? Or is there any science here? And I'm going to say, thank you for asking this question, because I think it's such a wonderful question. Obviously, I'm the one asking, so I'm just joking. But I think it's really a great question for us to address. And this was absolutely my impression of coaching before I started doing any of this. I thought it was really woo-woo. And I was not the type of person that, my brain was constantly going. I felt like there were, just like squirrels running around in there. And I wasn't the type of person that was really doing very well with stuff like meditation and yoga. Like, I found it very hard to be still like that and to think about whether or not I was getting any benefit from doing these sorts of things. And so some of the things that I think are traditionally touted as being part of like modalities for improving our self-care don't necessarily resonate with all of us. And that was very much the case for me. They have become things that resonate with me much more as I've gone through this journey, but from the get-go, they didn't always click. And so, one of the things that I found myself thinking, right, was that like this wasn't something for somebody who had a concrete and rational and strategic brain like I did. Well, guess what I found out along the way from doing coaching? I actually have a really creative brain too. I thought this wasn't for somebody who was a natural pessimist. I didn't want to just be around people who were happy all the time. That is not what we do in coaching. Okay. It turned out that coaching really was great for anybody who could take a look at what they were thinking and take a non-judgmental look at it, decide if it was serving them, decide if they wanted to keep thinking this way, and learn new ways of thinking if we chose to do that. So that at least is the type of coaching that we do at the Life Coach School. It's called causal coaching, which is really where we look at our thoughts and what our thoughts are creating for us in terms of how we feel, how we act, and what results we get. So I want to just share briefly, I'm not going to get too far into the weeds with this. I'll share the link to these two papers that I'm speaking about. But for the skeptics in the room, I want to just share briefly what the high quality evidence is that's out there for coaching as an intervention. Okay. So the paper that is most commonly spoken about is from JAMA Internal Medicine from 2019. And this was an intervention that took 6 studies. This took place at the Mayo Clinic at multiple sites. And there were 6 sessions, which the first was an hour. And then the following 5 were 30 minutes each. Happened about every 2 to 3 weeks over 5 months. So, a total of 3.5 hours of coaching, which is really not very much. I mean, my programs, I offer something like 40, 50 hours of coaching. So, we're talking about a lot more immersive experience that you can get from actually participating in a coaching program. And interestingly, this 3.5 hours of coaching, which was paid to coaches who were not even physician coaches, there was a budget of $1,400 US per client, which breaks down to $400 an hour. And so you can really see that actually if you were paying these people, you'd be paying a heck of a lot more to get the kind of experience than you do if you're, hi Marion, nice to see you. If you're paying a physician coach for a more immersive kind of program, especially if you're paying for like a hybrid group and one-to-one program, it's actually more affordable to offer coaching this way. So they used some rating scales to determine the outcome of the intervention, and they had statistically significant results in improving emotional exhaustion, improving burnout, improving physician resilience, and improving physician quality of life. Yes, I will take that. I'm sure most of us will take that, right? Like, that's pretty exciting stuff. We've now got a second study that just came out in the Journal of Occupational Health Psychology from October of 2020 focused on primary care physicians and, again, successions, improvements in burnout, engagement, psychological capital, I don't really totally know what that means, and job satisfaction. And the results were sustained at 6 months. So not only are we getting these powerful results, but they're not based on the intervention continuing alone, they're also sustainable, which is very cool. So coaching works. It's not airy-fairy. We can do airy-fairy things if you want to do them, but the principal tools of coaching, which is really analyzing how our normal human brain works, is a powerful, powerful tool for transformation. Okay, number 6. I've got a couple more here for you guys. So, this is a big investment. Can I afford this? Yes, the money objection comes up from time to time. Listen, you guys, I have never actually met a female physician, and I will make room that there could possibly be an exception to this, but I've never met a female physician who couldn't find, even if she had to borrow this money or use a credit card, couldn't find a way to access money if they really wanted to get the help. So don't sell yourself short because of this, okay? Because truly for most of us, getting the money isn't the problem. If cash flow is an issue, talk to your coach. Most coaches can give you some kind of payment plan or something, right? I give away free coaching. Come and play in one of my challenges, do something, but don't sell yourself short because of money, because you will miss out on so much. Decide that it's worth it for you to make this investment in yourself and believe that you're going to make your investment worth every penny. And here's why. We are so used to this transactional model where it's like, you ask yourself, what am I getting for the money? And then you look at time, programming. It's not even our dazzling personalities that you're paying for, okay? Literally, this is what you're paying for, okay? You are paying for the transformation that you're going to get, okay? My transformation quite literally was life-saving. It was completely life-changing. Coaching taught me how to recover from burnout, literally took me from crying in my car every single day, then walking into my house, grabbing my phone, playing Sudoku for hours and just numbing, zoning out completely. It gave my daughter back a mother. It gave my husband back a wife. It gave my patients back a doctor who wanted to be there, who has healthy boundaries. It gave me the ability to create what I've created for you guys here with this program. It has given me so freaking much that I'm spontaneous, I'm fun loving, I can laugh my way through a really hard pregnancy. I'm able to listen to my husband, again, really listen to him, realize he's a human being and not just be a blank stare, or even heaven forbid, not wanting anybody to talk to me because I've been talking to human beings all day. It gave me a relationship with my mom, who is by far the toughest person in my life for me in terms of my relationships. It gave me a relationship with her that I never believed was possible. It gave me the tools to start changing what I hate about the medical system through being empowered, right? Was that worth $5,000? Hell yes, easily. I'd have paid $30,000 for the results that I got from coaching. Okay, coaching is the best deal on the planet. It literally is. It changes lives so much. And you'll see in the comments of this that lots of people are talking about how this is true for them too. So don't think about what you're buying in terms of time and, the amount of sessions you can attend. Think about what you want your life to be like and make sure that that is what you get out of your coaching program, and it will be worth the money 1,000-fold. Okay, a couple more here. How will coaching improve the systemic factors that aren't working in my life? Okay, like the conflicts I have with my colleagues, like the administrative requirements, like the amount of call I have to do. I guess the short answer is really that it won't, but it will help you decide if you want to continue to let all of these factors, these external things in your life, dictate how you feel, how you act, and the results that you get in your life. Like I said in the first one, challenges will always exist in our life. We'd be foolish to think otherwise. Truthfully, I'm not even sure I want a life that is a total cakewalk, right? We thrive on challenges. We become better when we overcome things. I think what we really want to know is if we can handle these challenges. We want to know we can advocate for change. We want to feel empowered to speak up about what isn't working. We want to empower our colleagues who are often apathetic and just like, it's never going to change, right? To believe that it's possible to make change. And we cope better with what is left over with the tools of coaching. Okay, so we use more of our brain's bandwidth to make changes. We're more creative. We might even see that some of the things that we have always thought were broken aren't as broken as we think they are. So this still helps us to figure out these difficult things in our lives. How will coaching benefit the people I love? I think I've already answered this one for you guys, but I will say that nearly all of the people who I've coached can say confidently that their kids, their spouses, their friends, their family have noticed significant differences in them. My client today just said to me that she and her husband were reflecting back on how 2020 has gone and how living through COVID as a family hasn't been as bad for them as it would have been, because she says, like, I'm just so much better at handling things now than I was before. She did the work, so she's got the results. My last one, thank you for hanging in here with me. Okay, do I have the time to do this work? So this relates to what I touched on earlier, but I just wanted to specifically touch on this again. If you're asking yourself that question, you probably don't have time not to do this work. I gained back 2 hours of my life in little teeny tiny boxes, 1 week at a time when I began coaching. I learned how to do this. And gradually over time, my inbox was empty and I didn't have any more tasks to do. And so I gained back another 2 hours here and there. And that's how I was able to start reinstating my pillars of health into my life. And this is reproducible. I've done this with many clients before as well. My business was born of this time. Family suppers, Sundays without working where I can really be present with my daughter. Getting the amount of sleep that I need. It's such a little, thing, right? But for some of us, it's really huge in terms of our mental health and our wellness if we sleep enough. Finding time to read things I like or listen to podcasts or walk outside, be in nature, breathe fresh air. My dreams were born from this dedication to creating blank space in my life, to use my brain and to grow and to understand the things that I was thinking about that were limiting me. It's not easy to do. Don't underestimate that, but it's 100% worth it. And it's something that we have to choose for ourselves. Okay, that's a wrap, you all. Feel free, if this stirs up more questions for you, to write them in the comments and I will happily respond. I want to tell you quickly about the challenge we have coming up next week. So it's 5 days, 5 ways to change your life. It's fun. It's interactive. I decided to do this because I really wanted just to give you guys some amazing gifts in the month of December to celebrate the holiday season. So there's going to be prizes every day. I'm giving away some of my really favorite books. I'm also going to be giving away, for the person who interacts the most in this group during the challenge, free enrollment to the winter iteration of our coaching program, which is going to launch at the end of next week. And so come, show up, engage, interact. There's going to be a big prize. There's also the chance to win some smaller prizes over the week. There's going to be a live video on Monday and Friday. So give me a hashtag live or give me a hashtag replay so that I know you watched it. And then there'll also be a post prompt every day of the week. So if you're not seeing stuff in this group, you might have to click, and you can turn it off afterwards if you're no longer interested in seeing all the posts, but you might have to turn on all notifications for the group so you don't miss any of them. I'll also pin them as announcements so you can find them, but there'll be a prompt post each day of the week, and if you comment on it, you show up, you're vulnerable, you really participate fully, then you will start to change your life in these 5 days. So I'm going to challenge you all to show up and do that, not just because there's a big prize at the end of it all, but because this work in and of itself is valuable. It's free coaching, really. And so now you guys know a little bit more about what that's really worth. So show up, have some fun, and let's try focusing on what we want to create in our lives, right? Because what we focus on is what we create. So that's what we're going to spend some time doing. So I'll see you guys on Monday, and I hope you all have a lovely weekend. Cheers.